Well, good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July to you all. And coffee up. It's about 4:30 a.m. on the 4th of July, Monday, here in the beautiful city of Inglewood or Denver, Colorado, where I am at. And I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all proud on this day of our somewhat dysfunctional experiment called the United States of America. I guess instead of dysfunction, I would call it chaotic function. I think the Founding Fathers, the Founding Fathers, when they put this all together, these United States, they kind of built in a little bit of providence, I think, so that things may work out. It's clumsy, and but it works. That's all I know. Otherwise, there wouldn't be thousands of people a day trying to sneak into our country if it was not working. So I hope you're happy. I hope you're proud of it. I hope you're celebrating the freedoms that you do have today with your family and friends. At least taking stock of them, right? It continues to amaze me how this multifaceted dichotomy that we live in, culturally, melting pot, mixing of peoples, how it continues to allow us to pursue life, liberty, and happiness, really. So I'm thankful for that, and I hope you are too, having a great day. But what my point of my video today was going to be, I wanted to talk about what it's like to be a musician and be aging. What I mean is you know, my contemporaries, myself and my contemporaries, the guys I play with, we're all kind of looking through the window into the afternoon of life, and there's certain challenges that come along with that. One of the challenges, and you know, is obviously physical. Your body is starting to rebel or deteriorate, I guess. You know, you develop, a lot of people develop high blood pressure when they get older, arthritis, different, you know, your joints are hurting a lot all the time. For some people, in the fingers. I've noticed that when I play a lot, sometimes I'll get pains, you know, in the arms, or, you know, it becomes more difficult to perform or to play. The other thing is physically and mentally. Physically, your voice drops and thickens. I guess the best word is thickens. It thickens. It gets more deeper. You lose a little bit of your high-end range, and your sense of pitch drifts a little bit, and it usually goes flat a little bit, I think, as you age, I've noticed. So you have to really focus on pitch hearing. Like I notice when I record, sometimes I'll have to go back and re-record the vocal. I drifted a little bit on some notes, went a little bit flat, and you don't have that youthful voice anymore. It just sounds old. That's all there is to it. I recently saw a video of Elton John. I think it was post his retirement kind of thing. He came out and did a performance or whatever, and I could tell, his voice wasn't the same as it was. He's singing the same songs that he did 40 years ago, but his voice wasn't quite the same. He had to sing them a little different, that's what happens, is you have to adapt a little bit to that. He still sounded great, don't get me wrong. He's an incredible musician, but it's obvious that he's aged. And this happens to all of us. The other thing is, for musicians like myself we're not big stars, we have to, we just do small venues and gigs. We have to carry all of the equipment, load it, drive to the gig, unload it. Takes 2 hours to set up the whole band for the full show. That's with the PA and all the keyboards and everybody sound reinforced, monitor systems. Recently got in-ear monitors, and we tried them for the first time yesterday, and it's different. I think it made us a little tighter, and vocally the harmonies sounded a little better. You could hear them a little better, and I think it helped, our singing a little bit. But the fidelity, with the earbud is a little different than, our headphone or a full headphone or listening to the speakers, as far as hearing the bottom end or that kind of thing. So the in-ear monitors are great. I think you may have to use a mixture of that and the live sound by, maybe pulling one out or whatever. Depends on the song and what you're doing or whatever. So that's part of the getting older thing, is all that physical work, setting up and then playing a gig for 4 hours. It's hard. We don't even stand up anymore. We all sit down, because if you're playing even for a couple hours, to stand on your feet in one place for a couple hours is kind of hard. We don't play venues big enough to run around a stage and do rock slides and scissors kicks and backflips. We're not going to do that. We're not even capable, or remotely capable of that. So it is hard. It's very hard to, do that kind of physical. It's an 8-hour day, just setting up, playing, tearing down, and then coming back and offloading that equipment. Now, if I have help with the guys, it helps a lot. Sometimes I end up doing it alone, and it's hard. But with 3 or 4 people, it's not so bad. It's a lot less, harder. I'm not trying to complain about getting old. It's just part of life. It beats the alternative, I guess. It's just that, I'm looking at, not being able to do what I love to do as easily as I used to. And that's challenging in its own right mentally. Now, I think for people, I feel really sorry for people. Like, I have some friends that are huge hikers, mountain climbers and hikers, and they've gotten older, and then they have like different issues, circulatory issues and joint issues, so they can't backpack 40 miles anymore and hike through countries. And God bless him, I have a good friend that did a trip like that, and he did it for, he was almost, I think he was 70 years old. I'm not sure, but when he did it. So there are some people that stayed in good enough shape to do things well into their late life. However, I think sometimes you have to replace some of those physical loves or hobbies or passions with things that are less challenging physically. It could be, art, painting. It could be, craft of some sort, or woodworking, or, something you can do with your hands that's not as hard on your body. I still can play guitar, and you know, and the fingers are still working okay. I mean, sometimes they do get sore. I noticed yesterday we had a 4 hour rehearsal. We went, no, 5 hour rehearsal we did yesterday. It was a 5 hour rehearsal, and I noticed that I did get pains here and my back from, you know, not sitting properly and everything. The playing part I still can do with the fingers. I don't have too much arthritis in the fingers yet. I'm not as quick as I'm not as fast as I used to be with things, but when I was playing every day, I mean, there was a time when I was playing professionally, and you know, you played six hours a day, or 6 to 8 hours a day sometimes. So anyway, I hope you're happy and safe on this 4th of July. And if you're an aging musician, I don't really have any hacks or tricks to help with anything, except just be aware of what's happening. Be aware of your voice going pitchy and changing as you get older, and you have to work a little harder and concentrate a little bit more to sing, to make it right. You might not have as much physically, you might not be in the same shape you were, so you might not have as much breath control. You know, holding notes for a long time. So you adapt. You learn how to cut them off or sing differently. The same with the guitar. So I'm gonna just go ahead and play out here, and I just hope you stay happy and safe and have a positive attitude about things, because you know, life is pretty good so far. I mean, you know, it beats the alternative, I think. So stay positive, stay well, keep playing music. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you can't go and do a gig anymore. It's just keep playing. You know, just bring your guitar to a jam circle or something in your town. Or I mean, there's ways to do things all the time. You don't have to set up the whole PA and play big venues. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to play. Plus, sometimes we strip it down. I was just thinking about that. You know, when you go to a small coffee house or something, you got 4 or 5 guys. Well, there's a way I could just bring a couple of speakers and a mixer and still plug in all the mics and everything, but you're playing a small venue and you don't have to bring the full, maybe you don't have to bring the full drum set if my brother or whoever the drummer is can play like a cajon or something like that. I mean, that's simple. And the rest of it, instead of playing the keyboards and everything else, and just bring a guitar or a mandolin and have the other 2 guys play a guitar, and you know, adjust your set. And that's kind of fun sometimes, to be able to reinterpret your own music or your own gig to a completely different style. That's actually kind of fun. More challenging. So anyway, I'm going to play us out here a little bit. Let's see. Cheer out.